Hi, I'm Graham Price. I'm a psychologist, a coach, a development trainer, and a few other things. And I'm going to spend this 15 minutes talking mainly about psychology. Okay, it's the main thing that I do. I impact people's lives through the work that I do. And I'm going to specifically talk in this little talk about changing people's mindset, which is something that I do all the time. People have different kinds of mindsets. Some people have powerful mindsets, some people have limiting mindsets. Mindset is the word we use for all the unconscious beliefs that drive just about everything that we do, that we think, we feel in our lives. And it's incredibly significant to our lives. People who have a powerful mindset can live amazing lives, achieve lots of things, have great relationships, and so on. People who have limiting mindsets are the people that I often get to see when I'm working as a psychologist. And I want to tell you how people with limiting mindsets acquired those mindsets and what I do to resolve them and strengthen them and give them a more powerful mindset. So a lot of people think that mindset is created by our past events, primarily, like maybe our childhood, our upbringing, our education, and that kind of thing. Yes, those things clearly have a significant impact, especially major things that might have happened to us early in life is going to have a significant impact. But the biggest impact on our mindset comes from something which may surprise you, and that is our behavior. Our behavior is the key driver of how our mindset develops. And I'm going to give you some examples, okay? Maybe initially from the world of psychology, where I'm helping people who come to me with limitations. How did they develop those limitations? They say, I meet people who are anxious, or people who are depressed, or people with obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD for short, or people with addictions or eating disorders or anger problems and all those kind of things. How did they create those mindsets? Well, sure, those kind of problems may have been initiated by events in their lives, but it is their behavior that's developed the problem that I'm now facing when they come to see me. After all, somebody who's anxious has got unconscious beliefs that are driving that anxiety. And what do they tend to do? They tend to avoid the things that are making them anxious. And every single time they do that, they reinforce the unconscious beliefs that are driving their anxiety. People who are depressed, sure, events in their lives may have triggered that and initiated that, but it's their behavior that's driving the development of their depression. What do depressed people do? They tend to withdraw and isolate, and every time they do that, they reinforce the unconscious beliefs that are driving their depression. People with OCD will tend to carry out OCD behavior. Yes, sure, their OCD may have been initiated by events in their lives, but since that initiation, they have been carrying out OCD kind of behavior. It's driven by compulsions and anxiety. And every time they do what their OCD is driving them to do, they reinforce the unconscious beliefs that's driving their OCD. It's the same with any limitation in people's mindsets. They will tend to behave in ways that their limiting mindset is driving them to behave. And every single time they do that, they'll reinforce the mindset, in other words, the unconscious beliefs that are driving their problem. And that is universally true. That's true of positive, powerful mindsets as well, by the way. Positive, powerful, confident people tend to act in confident, powerful, positive ways. And every time they do that, they reinforce the unconscious beliefs. In other words, the mindset that's driving that behavior. So it's a kind of a vicious cycle, isn't it? People who have limiting mindsets will behave in limiting ways and reinforce those mindsets. And people with powerful mindsets will behave in powerful ways and reinforce that mindset. So that is universally true, by the way, and there's really no exception. And so what do I need to do to reverse limiting mindsets? What do I need to help them to do to change a limiting mindsets that's driving limiting beliefs and limiting behavior? I need to get them to stop doing what they're doing, okay, and to start doing the opposite of what their mindset is driving them to do. People who are anxious need to stop avoiding things that they're anxious about and start doing those things. People who are depressed need to stop avoiding and withdrawing and isolating and engage fully with their life. People who have OCD problems need to stop the OCD behavior and do the opposite. Now, that's easy to say, isn't it? That's all they need to do to unwind their current mindset and replace it with a more powerful mindset. But of course, that creates a problem. I mean, people who just hear that all they need to do is change their behavior and behave in opposite ways have got thoughts and feelings that are limiting them currently, and they need to know what to do with those thoughts and feelings. So what is somebody who's going to start doing the thing that's making them anxious going to do with the anxiety that's bound to erupt when they try and do that? And what is the guy with OCD who's been told to stop the OCD behavior and do the opposite going to do with the compulsions that are driving their OCD behavior and the anxiety that will erupt when they try and not do the OCD behavior and do the opposite? So we need to teach people how to deal with those feelings. And that comes down to resilience, okay? That's about being able to deal with those limiting thoughts and feelings. And that is primarily about acceptance. Resilience is primarily driven by acceptance. Now, in this short talk, I don't have time to tell you how we teach people to do that and how we get people to become more accepting and more resilient. But I can tell you that in something that I'm going to give away as a result of this talk. I've been asked not to sell anything as a result of this talk, okay? And that I think I'm allowed to give something away. So on my website, which is abicord.com, ABICORD.com, you'll find all sorts of trainings and services and therapy and coaching and that kind of thing, most of which is paid for. But I'm willing to give you, the people that are listening to this little talk, one of those services free. Okay, you'll find it's a webinar called Positive Mind Training. Okay, on the Abicord website, you have to pay for that webinar, but I'm going to guide you to another website that's going to give it away free. It's called Positive Mind Training. That's hyphenated, positive-mind-training.com. And if you go there, you'll find the same webinar that's chargeable on the Abicord website that you can just register for free. It's a lot longer than this talk. Okay, it's 90 minutes, and it will teach you everything that I've already mentioned on this talk: how to change your behavior to build a more powerful mindset, and how to use acceptance to enable you to do that. So go ahead and watch that webinar. It's pretty life-changing, and it will teach you how to take control of your mind, how to take control of your mindset, and how to create a more powerful, positive mindset that will unleash all sorts of possibilities in your life. Now, I'm not saying this is just for people who have limitations currently, like the kind of limitations I've talked about. This is for everyone. Everyone should know how to generate a powerful mindset and how to get more out of their life, how to become more resilient, more powerful, more confident, and so on, and more achieving. And this free webinar that I'm going to give to you will tell you how to do that. Now, mindset is key to so many things. And one of the businesses that I run is a weight loss business. Okay, I'm not saying, by the way, that everyone needs to lose weight. This weight loss program is only for people who want to lose weight and sustain it. It is incredibly powerful, and not surprisingly, it has heaps of psychology. And it amazes me that so many weight loss programs don't deal with mind-based issues at all, just teach you about nutrition and exercise, okay, which are clearly the key things you need to do to stop gaining weight and to lose weight. But the mind is the thing that gets in the way. In fact, the mind is probably the most significant aspect of a successful weight loss program. It won't surprise you from what I've told you already that mindset is incredibly significant. So the program that we run is 10 times more successful than programs run by organizations that are very well known in the area of weight loss. Those organizations tend to be under 10% successful in achieving and sustaining weight goals. All right, there may be more who reduce their weight, but sustaining it is another matter. Typically, it's under 10% successful on a sustained basis. Our program is over 95% successful on a sustained basis. Why? Because yes, we have all the nutrition advice and exercise advice that you need, but we have heaps of psychology for changing mindsets and ensuring that you succeed. So that's just one example of the significance of mindset. You'll find that program on my website. So now I want to also tell you that not that long ago, the development training that I've already talked about, the positive mind training, the full training was attended by one of the world's wealthiest and best known philanthropists. Okay, he doesn't want me to tell you his name right now, but he will do when he's ready. But he did the training, the positive mind training thing, called me and said, "Graham, it's fantastic. It's so life-changing. It's absolutely brilliant. Everyone should do this training," which of course I agreed with. And he said, "Oh, interesting, you agree." He said, "So how many people are you training in a year?" And I gave him the rough number, and he said, "So how long is it going to take you to train everyone?" I think it was something over 1,000 years. And he says, "You need to speed it up." So he gave me a couple of things. He gave me a goal, okay, which is to train 1 billion people in the next 5 years. And he gave me the means to do that. He's an extraordinary guy. He's incredibly successful at achieving things and organizing things. And he gave me the means to get that training out to 1 billion people in the next 5 years. But I suggest you do it. You don't wait that long to do it. I suggest you get on with it. But this is going to have a massive impact on the world. It's going to change the way the world thinks about a whole heap of things, and it's very exciting. And if you do the training, okay, then you can join me in helping with that program. Because one of the other things this guy gave me, as a kind of an aside, okay, it's that his main purpose was the same as my purpose, to get as many people trained as possible. But he also gave me a means by which that project, to get it out to a billion people, will be able to generate significant income for the early participants in that project. So I hope that's going to be you. I don't need any income. I give all my income now to charity because I'm perfectly wealthy enough to live the rest of my life very comfortably. I don't need any more income. I give it all away. I don't have any kids, by the way, so that's why I can easily do that. But for those of you who want to get involved, for only a few hours of your time, you'll be able to make huge incomes, over £50,000, $70,000, anything up to £1 million, $1.5 million. And that's thanks to this guy who's given me the means to roll it out to 1 billion people and make a lot of money for those of you that are interested in that. So do join me. Do take this free training. Go along to positivemindtraining.com-, and get involved. Take the training and start to generate a different life with a powerful mindset. I mean, in my early 20s, I wasn't a very confident guy. I was anxious doing what I'm doing now, speaking to groups, that kind of thing. Within a year, actually, I was talking to audiences of 1,000 people very confidently. So that's the kind of change that happened in my life. You can probably work out from what I've already said that what was driving my anxiety speaking to groups was avoiding speaking to groups and constantly reinforcing the beliefs that were driving it. And once I changed all that using the tools that I'm going to teach you, then everything changed. I became hugely confident, hugely successful in terms of lots of areas of my life, changed my relationships. Everything has been amazing. I've had a pretty amazing life, by the way. That's not so much to my credit, it's to the credit of people who taught me these tools, and I want to pass them on to you. My life has been extraordinary, and I want to make sure it is for you too. So that's all I got time for on this short talk, but do join me and do benefit from what I've got to pass on to you. So that's it for now. Goodbye from me, and I hope to see you again soon.